Love is something we all know, right? It's where you love a person so deeply that you would even say, I would take a bullet for that person, right? But there's different forms of love. There's romantic, there's brotherly, and there's just that love where you just love it, right? Maybe it's a show. Maybe it's a show that you love, right? Let's start with that. Something you love. Maybe it's a cookie recipe, or a show, or a hobby, or a place. You can name it, right? That's a different type of love. It's somewhere that you like going. It's something you like eating, right? Because it tastes good, it feels good, and it's good, you know? That's that type of love. Now, romantic love, we all know what romantic love is, right? Simple as this. You see a girl, you see a guy, hopefully it's the opposite gender, but we see that person and we're like, man, that person is beautiful. I love their face. I love how they look. I love how they act. I love how they are. Right? I love their personality. That is romantic love. It's that love where you love that person to where you're like, I will marry that person. Right? And obviously that's not, determined. That's not definitely like not confirmed that you'll marry that person, but it's something you can have. It's something you can think about. It's something that you can decide. If you really love that person, if you really love this person's personality, and if they really love yours. I want to talk about the most important one though, and that's brotherly and sister love. Right? This is the love that you give your friends, your best friend, your bro, your sister, you can name it, your family members, right? This is the love that the Lord wants to tell us to have, right? And I want to give an example of what unconditional love is, right? Unconditional love in the Bible is just simple as this: loving somebody no matter how many wrongs they do, as long as they come back to you for forgiveness. That's loving somebody no matter how many wrongs. That's loving somebody unconditionally. Now, obviously, I want to give an example from the Bible, right? So, in the beginning of the Bible, God creates two people, right? Two humans. And he explicitly says to these two humans, don't eat from this tree. Don't eat from this tree, right? If you eat from this tree, you're disobeying me and you're sinning. Right? So when God says this, he obviously is expecting the two humans to not eat from the tree. Right? But it's also a test. It's a test to see how, if they will fall into temptation or if they will resist the temptation. Right? But the thing is that they do fall. Spoiler alert. They do fall into sin. They do fall into the temptation that the devil made. Right? And most of us, that's like us, right? Maybe we're just chilling and one of our friends comes up and smacks us, hits us, hurts us, says something bad to us for no reason at all. Maybe it's even when we don't tell them to, even when we tell them to stop, right? And most of us will, respond with anger. We'll respond with, why'd you do that? I hate you. You're mean. You need to stop. Like all these different things. We'll respond with anger. Right? And maybe it's just a person, a historical person that we just hate. That everybody says, I hate that person. Right? I know you can think of one historical person, but dude, that's what unconditional love is. Unconditional love is saying, okay, you wronged me, but I'm coming back. But I'm forgiving you for that. You talked behind my back, I forgive you. Right? It's wrong, but I forgive you. Unconditional love is just so important because it keeps your peace. Your peace stays. In learning how to unconditionally love is so important because it helps you love everybody no matter how many wrongs, how many things, how many places, how many whatever they do to you. It helps you just be able to do that, man, and it brings you closer to the Lord. Unconditional love is an important subject. It's an important thing to remember. Because it's all about loving people, right? And a lot of the time, people can really hurt us, right? Maybe you're having an argument with your friend. or you're doing something with your friend, right? And they just wrong you. And a lot of us will say, okay, I'm going to take revenge, right? I'm going to pay them back for what they deserve. That's not something that's right, you know? That's not right. They don't deserve anything but forgiveness. Well, maybe they don't deserve it, but they still can have forgiveness. Right? I always have two sayings in my mind. The first one is never take revenge. You know, never take revenge, right? Because anytime you take revenge, it just leads to worse problems, right? So you got to be like the deal breaker. You got to be the person that just stops it, you know, because it's kind of like a domino effect, right? You know, this person comes up to you and wrongs you, right? You have the deciding factor to take revenge. If you take revenge, it goes into a domino effect of conversations that are just so hurtful, arguments, maybe just less hanging out. You could name it, right? It goes into these crazy things, right? But sometimes you just gotta stop that domino effect. That's what forgiveness is it's stopping that domino effect of arguments, right? If my friend wrongs me and I respond with anger and revenge, or I shove him back or something like that, right? It's just a domino effect over and over and over and over and over again, man. It just keeps falling every single time. But if I just say, I forgive you, and I'm not going to do anything, there is no domino effect. It's just him that fell over, right? But it also brings him back up. The second thing I want to say is forgive to forget. And what that means is when you forgive somebody, you can forget that ever happened, right? Whenever you forgive somebody for their past mistakes, for the mistake they just made, you can just forget about it. You don't have to remember their past mistake after you forgive them. That's not the whole point of forgiveness. Forgiveness is keeping no record of wrongs. There's no record when you forgive. When you forgive somebody, there's no record, right? I want to say that. That's the thing that that's the quote I want to focus on, is forgiveness keeps no record of wrongs. That's from the Bible. But I also just want to say one more thing, dude, and this is very, very like hit worthy. This hits you like a rock, right? Hit me like a rock when I thought of it. In this way, you know, we have our mom and our dad, right? Maybe it's your grandparents, maybe it's your sister, your brother, you know, it could really be anybody, right? Maybe it's your stepdad, and maybe it's somebody that just loves you, that loves you so much that they would die for you, right? In the same way, they are projecting Jesus's love, right? Because they're shining that love of how Jesus died on the cross through their hearts, through their actions, right? That's the way I think about it with my parents, man. They're like Jesus. Jesus died on the cross for my sins. My parents are sacrificing everything for what I want to do, for where I want to go with my life. And that's something you gotta love. And that's something you gotta look up to, because that's something that is very important. And that's something that, you know, translate to the rest of your life, man. So I just wanted to leave it off with this, dude. Forgiveness is important, right? Forgive to forget. Okay? And then next I want to say is love and forgiveness keep no records of wrong, right? That's a true fact. And then the last thing I want to say is shine your love down the same way that Jesus did, man. Jesus died on the cross for everybody. You should take a bullet for anybody, because that's what it is. And this directly translates back to my, you know, video from a few days ago, you know, treat others how you want to be treated. But obviously go watch that video if you want to hear stuff about that. Yeah, man, just keep in mind, forgive to forget, and love and forgiveness keeps no record of wrongs. Very important stuff. Have a great day. God bless.